What's going on, guys? John Elder here from Codemy.com, and in this video, we're going to finish the profile creation for our blog with Django and Python. Alright guys, like I said, in this video, we're going to finish up the profile creation. But before we get started, if you like this video, want to see more like it, be sure to smash the like button below, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm, and check out Codemy.com where I have dozens of courses with hundreds of videos that teach you to code. Use coupon code YouTube1 to get $30 off membership. That's all my courses, videos, and books for one-time fee at just $49, which is insanely cheap. Okay, so in the last video, we kind of created this profile page, and that works great. Up here, we can click here and we can show the profile page, we can edit the profile page, and this works all great. But there's a problem, and some of you have mentioned this. I probably should have done this video before the last video, but we're just kind of going along as we go with this, so I put them in different order. But the problem is, see, I'm logged out here. If we create a new user, so let's register. We'll call him Bill, and it's going to be Bill Elder, and he's going to be bill@bill.com, and let's give him a password. Now, when we register and then log in as Bill, we immediately get an error. What's going on? Well, if you think back, we originally, when we set up this whole profile section, we created a profile page through the Django admin area, like 3 videos ago. And we created profiles for each of our users. Now we did that manually from the profile page. Well, we haven't done that now. So what's going on here is when you log in and it tries to show the base.html, it's trying to show the profile page link. But there isn't a profile page because we haven't created it yet, right? So we're getting this error. So this is all kinds of problems. So this is going to help us fix a couple of different things. One, we need to set up a system where a person can create their user profile manually. And then two, we need to change the navbar to not show this error in case the person hasn't created a profile page yet. So that's what we're going to do in this video. So right off the bat, let me just go to my admin area. Let's log in as admin. Now, if we go back, we're logged in as admin and we can see this thing still works. So right off the bat, we can fix that error just by fixing the nav bar. So let's do that real quick. So let's head over to our code and let's go to our base.html file in our, let's see, the blog directory, templates file, base.html. And let's come down here to that section we just worked on in the last video. So edit settings, edit profile page, and just right here, we just need an if statement right here. So if they have a profile page, show this link. Otherwise, show a link to where they can create a profile page, right? So let's do that. So here is our edit profile page. So we can see if the profile page exists, we're sending them to this user.profile.id. So we can run an if statement to see if this exists. So let's just do that right here. Let's go if user profile ID. So if this thing exists, show this link. Oops. And we always want to end our if statement. So let's go end if. Now we also want to do an else statement here. So let's go else. And I'm just going to copy this whole thing and paste it in here. But let's just make this a dummy link for now with a hashtag. And let's call this create profile page, right? So if the profile page exists, show a link to it. Else, show a link to create the profile page. And we'll create this link in a minute after we create the system to do this. So show profile page. And so if the user profile exists, allow them to edit it or show it. So we could put that right there. Else, create it, okay? So boom, this works. And up here, now it says edit settings. We can still edit our regular settings, our username, our first name, last name, email address, all that stuff. But there is now a link for a create profile page. So that gets rid of that error of not having created a profile page for a new user, right? So one thing down, now we need to create this actual profile page thing. So, okay, let's head back over to our code. Let's head over to our views.py file in our members directory. So remember, this is where all of our user authentication stuff goes. So views.py, and let's create a new class. So let's give this a class of, let's call this create profile page view. And this is going to be a create view, right? just like when we create a blog post, we're creating something here. So we'll use the create view, right? And that means we have to import that up here. So in our Django views generic detail view, after that, we can just paste in create view. Okay, so like always when we're doing a class, we need to tell it what model to use. So we want to use the profile model. And what template name do we want to use? Let's call this create underscore user underscore profile underscore page.html. That's getting a little long and ridiculous, but that's okay. And we want to put this in our registration directory. So let's go ahead and create that really quickly in our templates directory, in our members directory. Then inside of our registration, we can right click, create new file. And let's go file, save as, and we want to call this create user profile page with underscores. And this page, we want to upload a photo, a profile picture. So we're going to need to use that sort of encryption type multi-part thing for our form. So let's head over to our blog post page way down here in the blog directory. So let's find add post, and that has this. So let's just go ahead and copy all of this and paste it in here. And up here, let's say create a new profile page. And if the user is authenticated, let's say create profile page. And we don't need this form as media thing. And here, instead of the button saying post, let's say create profile page. And we don't need this, but here's kind of interesting. Remember, you probably don't remember, but if you think back to when we created a blog post, we needed to remember who was making the blog post. And to do that, we used this bit of JavaScript. And all of you lost your collective minds when I did that, because you're like, oh, with that JavaScript on the screen, a hacker could take control of the page and pass in their own information. And yeah, that's probably true, but like nobody would. Like, who would want to hack your stupid blog thing for no reason and no financial gain? Like, and they'd really have to be looking for something like this to do that. But I guess technically they probably could. If somebody wants to hack your page, even without something like this, they're going to, right? So not a big deal, and which is why I used it. But since you guys all lost your minds, we won't do it this way now, because we've got the same problem here. We're creating a profile page. We need to know which user is creating that profile page. And it's kind of tricky to do that using class-based views, so, which is why I use this bit of JavaScript. But we're going to do it anyway. So we'll get rid of that, and we can save the rest of this. Okay, that looks good. So let's go ahead and save this, and let's head back to our views.py file. So we've got our create profile page view. We've set up the template. Now we need to do exactly what I was just talking about. Set up some code here that allows our project to figure out what user is filling out that form. So what we can do is the form will pass the user, and then here we can sort of hijack the form as it's being processed and pause that processing, insert back the user, and then continue with the processing. So to do that, we create a function. So define, and let's call this form underscore valid. So if the form is valid, we want to pass in self, and we want to pass in the form itself. And then inside of here, we can go form.instance.user equals self.request.user. And what this does is it's saying, hey, there's a user filling out this form. Let's grab that user and then make it available to the form itself. And then we can just sort of save the form by going return super and then dot form underscore valid. And then we pass in the form itself that has been submitted from the page, right? So if this doesn't make a whole lot of sense, just realize is what we're doing here is we're making the user ID available to our profile so that when we save the form, it gets saved under the right user. So Bill, when he creates his profile page, Bill is user 7. That 7 will get passed through here, and then we can set it up into the form as an instance of the form with that user and set it equal to that 7, which this thing right here would be 7. We're saying, hey, take 7, put it on the form as the user, and then save the form, right? So that's how that works. All right, so let's go ahead and save this. Now we need a URL. It's always a 3-step process. You got your HTML page, this thing right here. You've got your view, this thing right here, and you need your URL. So let's head over to our urls.py. And right up here at the top, we need to import that view. So import our create profile page view. And then down here, let's just copy the last path and paste it in again. Now we don't need to pass in a PK thing here, right? That's fun. We've been doing that for a while. Instead, let's call this create profile page. And this is gonna be the, let's come back up here and copy this thing again. And then come down here. And we're gonna paste that in. So it's the create profile page view as view. And what do we wanna name this thing? Let's name it create profile page. Okay, so that probably works now. So let's copy this name into our base.html. Where did we put that? Where'd it go? There it is. And so come back down here to that link we just created with the dummy text. And where are we? Right here. So create profile page. And let me paste it right here. Let me just copy this whole thing right here and paste that there. And let's see. So we're going to point this to the create profile page. We don't need to pass the user ID. Okay, so let's go ahead and save this and hit reload. Okay, looks like it worked. So we're logged in as Bill, I think. Yeah, Bill. So now we can create our profile page, and now we've got a problem. So we did not add our fields attribute to the views. I totally skipped that. Let's head back over here, and we can just, for now, type fields equals, let's just go, we've done this before, underscore, underscore, all, underscore, underscore. Save this, head back. Okay, so here we've got a little bit of a problem. We've got a create profile page. That seems to be working just fine. We've got our bio, we've got all of our things, we've got the picture we can upload, but now it's showing admin or Bob or Ted or Bill. We don't want the user to be able to pick which user to create a profile page for. So we need to fix this. So what we can do here is, like we've done a zillion times in this project, we can create our own specific form that we can then style. And we'd want to do this anyway because this doesn't look great. We want to bootstrapify this. So let's do that real quick. Head back over to our code and let's go to our forms.py file inside of our member directory. And we've got some stuff in there already. We need to import our profile model. So let's go from, let's see, it's the blog.models, import profile, right? And then let's create a class real quick. Let's call this profile page form, and that's gonna inherit forms.modelForm. And then inside of here, we want to set the model to equal profile. We want the fields to equal some fields, and we'll finish this in a minute. And then we want our widgets to equal something as well. So the fields we want are the fields from our profile model. So let's head over to our models.py file. Oop, wrong one. That's in the blog directory. And let's grab all of these. Actually, we don't need user. And I'm going to bring these back over here, and I'm just going to paste these in. And then we just put them in one at a time. So bio, comma, profile, underscore pic, comma, and I'm going to pause this while I type in each of these separated by commas here, so you don't have to watch this. Okay, so I put each one at a time, separated by commas, right? So we don't need all of this. I was just using it as a reference. And for our widgets, we can use, we're just gonna do basically the same thing we've done in the past. So let's look at, let's see, our other forms.py file in the blog directory. And here we see these widgets. And I'm just gonna copy all of these and use them in here. And we just want to change these to each of these things. So let's go bio and profile pic. And again, I'm just gonna pause this while I put each of these in here so you don't have to watch. Okay, so now we need to come through here and change these things. So remember, text input is a basic text box. Let's see, text area is like a body, a big long a big square. So we need text area for the bio. The rest of these are going to be text input, text input, text input, text input, text input, text input, except for the profile pic. And actually, let's just leave off profile pic for now. Okay, so get rid of that. So that's good. Let's see, the rest of these are just form control. But this one, we don't want to put any value in there. We take that off. And this is not a choice list here. So I'm just gonna copy this whole thing and paste it in there. Okay, so now these are all the same. Okay, the thing about this, you'll notice these are all of our fields: bio, profile pic, website URL, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc. We don't have the user. And if we look at our models.py file, let's see, user is the first thing. The reason why we're leaving it off is because we don't want it to show up in the form, because we don't want them to be able to choose who their user is. We're gonna add that to the view later on after they click the button to submit the form. That's what this bit of code right here was all about. So, okay, so let's go ahead and save this and see. Now, this is the profile page form, so we need to tell our view that we're gonna use that. So here, we can go form underscore class and set that equal to profile page form, but we need to now import that up here at the top. So from .forms, import profile page form. Okay, so save this. Now come back here, fingers crossed, see if this worked. Nope, we're getting an error. What did I do wrong? Copied and pasted a bunch of stuff, so might have messed something up. So, all right, let's see. All right, so line 16 of forms.py, looks like we got an extra colon. So forms.py, line 16. Yep, right there. Okay. Save this. Make sure our server's running again. Come back here, hit reload. All right, still another problem. Oh, okay. Our views.py file. We have, let's see where we're at. We set fields to all. We don't want to use all anymore. We want to use profile page form. So just comment this out. Go ahead and save this and reload. Model form has no model class specified. So let's go to our forms. We left off a very important thing. I'm having a morning here. So we give this a class, meta. And now all of this needs to be tabbed over. All right, so class meta. There we go. Why didn't you say something? All right, save this. Now it should work. Okay, so we've got a bootstrapified thing. We've got all the stuff. So this is Bill's profile. And no profile picture for now. Let's go bill.com, nothing here. For Twitter, let's go twitter.com/Bill. I don't know. We'll leave the rest of them blank. Create profile page. Uh-oh, problem. No URL to redirect to. Okay, so we want to come up here. Let's head back over to our code. And head to our models.py file down here in the blog directory. And right here, we've got this define get absolute self or return home. We need to do that same thing for our profile. So we could just come down here and paste this in. Get rid of this guy. Okay, so that should work. So let's head back here, and if we click here, it already created it. It just didn't return to, it didn't redirect. So if we click show profile page, Bill works, right? So this actually works. So let's log out. Let's create a new user just to make sure this worked. So let's go, I don't know, Tim Elder, tim@tim.com. Create a password. Register. Let's log in. All right, come up here, create a profile page. This is Tim's profile, and we don't want anything else. Now, click here, show profile page. This is Tim's profile, and it worked. So, okay, So we had a few errors there, but I have an excuse. We had to get up at 4:30 this morning, so I'm just a little bit out of it today, but I think we muddled through there. So let's just recap really quickly. In our profile page, this thing we just put was so that when we fill out the form, it redirects to the home page, right? Then in our forms.py file, we just created the same thing we always do. We set the fields we want and set the widgets to bootstrapify them. We text areaed the bio because it's a big square. The rest of these are text input boxes. And we left off the user so that when we click this link and go to create a new profile, there's not a box there for the user, so they can't pick which user to use, because later on in our create profile page view, we've got this bit of code here that sort of hijacks the form as they're submitting it, adds the user as self request user, and puts that back into the form as an instance of user, and then saves the form, and everything's great. So that's pretty much all there is to it. And yeah, so that's all for this video. If you liked it, be sure to smash the like button below, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm, and check out Codemy.com where you can use coupon code YouTube1 to get $30 off membership. So page is $49 to access all my courses, hundreds of videos, and the PDFs of all my best-selling coding books. Join over 100,000 students learning to code just like you. My name is John Elder from Codemy.com, and I'll see you in the next video.